Okay, good, good. So what we're going to do, I want everybody to open up VS Code. And while you're doing that, my screen is still on, but I'm going to get set up so I can walk through this with you. So don't pay attention to what I'm doing right now, but just go ahead and sign up to VS Code. Sign into VS Code. Okay. So is everybody in VS Code? Okay. Okay, good. So can you guys see my screen? Should that be the VS Code screen? Okay, good. So what we're going to do is talk about extensions. Extensions are little tools that you can add to your VS Code, your IDE of VS Code, and it just helps make it easier as a developer. Whenever you're coding something, it could be add some special colors. It could be color pickers. It could be. It just makes your job easier as a developer. You know how you have autocomplete, like you'll start typing in something and you'll see that how it'll finish it for you. That's a type of extension. That's a type of tool that we're talking about. It makes our job a lot easier. So on the left hand side, about halfway down, looks like little blocks. You guys see that on the left hand side of the margin? If anybody doesn't, I need you to stop me with an audio or something so that so I can slow down. This is a bit of a coordination for me, so just make sure you holler if I don't see the chat or something. So we're going to go down to those little building blocks, and it says extensions if you hover over it. And it's going to open up a screen of a little sidebar of extensions. Does everybody see that okay? Again, if not, let me know. Just holler or do something so I'll keep on going, okay? So you can see on my screen, I have some that are already enabled, and some extensions just come into VS Code already enabled. If you didn't want them, you would just have to disable them. There are some also some recommendations for here. So there's all kinds of extensions. Like if you wanted an extension for a color picker, so you can do specific colors easier, you can do a search for color, and you'll come up with some various extensions that you can use. And when you click on it, it gives you a description of what it is, how it works. It's the documentation for the various types of extensions. Okay. But what we're going to do for pair programming, to get back into pair programming, we're going to use an extension called LiveShare. So LIVE, that has a space, share. So it should be live space share. We're going to do a search for that. And the first four that I see are LiveShare, LiveShare Chat, LiveShare Audio, and LiveShare Extension Pack. Everybody okay so far on this? Okay. So what we're going to actually download is the extension pack. So we click on extension pack and we click on install. And it's going to install. It doesn't take very long, but you can see the other the live share chat, and the live share audio are also being installed. And the reason for that is because it's an extension pack. And if you click on extension pack, it has the live share chat, live share, and live share audio built in. And it also has Peacock, but we're not going to worry about Peacock right now. So let's go back into the details of it. I'm going to go ahead and close this so I have more room. So the extension pack includes everything we need to start collaboratively editing and debugging in real time. Okay. So you guys remember GitHub? Chat with me or say something if you guys remember GitHub from last semester. Good. Okay. So GitHub was a tool that we could collaborate. It's a type of tool that we could collaborate with other people, right? You know, you guys remember that I couldn't find the error whenever I was coding something, you know, in real time, and then I still couldn't find it, and then I sent it to you guys, and you guys found the error for me, and then that was a bit of a collaborative effort. But there was that push-pull kind of. You have to wait for somebody to fork it and to do the pull request and to do all those things. So there's a bit of delay in time for all that. So with live share and pair programming, and using a tool like live share, this is real time. So you know how in Google Docs, like if I share a document with you, like I shared it earlier today in Discord, you guys can work on something and I can work on something, and it's real time, right? So this is another way that we can collaborate in real time. And so it has the extension pack, has the audio and text chat features built in. So you don't have to kind of go back and forth between Discord or Google Hangouts or any of the other platforms. It can all just be on one solid platform. Let's see. So it provides our team in class with it's one-click installation. It was already installed very quickly. To begin pair programming, perform some code reviews, and make lectures a little bit more interactive. So we'll be using this tool for our pair programming. So to get started, we've already installed it, but mine already popped up on the left-hand side. This looks like a square and an arrow kind of thing. It says live share. If you don't see that yet, you may need to exit out of VS Code and go back in. I'm kind of surprised that this is already here. I thought I had to exit out and go back in. That's what I had to do yesterday. So I'm just going to stop right here, and I want everybody to kind of communicate with me. Do you guys see that live share on the left-hand side of your VS Code window? Good, good, good. Okay. Ryan? It's Ryan still. I know he's had some problems with internet connectivity. Okay. Do you have the live share installed? Okay, good. So Solomon, I know your system's still installing. Okay. So while that's still installing, let's go ahead and review this a little bit more. So again, this is the documentation of how you can use extensions. So when you start, looking at extensions that you want to use, or you see that something is recommended, by developer or article or whatever that you're reading or listening to, if you want to check it out, that's, you check it out by doing a search for extensions, and you learn how to use it by reading the documentation. Okay. So this explains Peacock. We'll go ahead and go over this. We're not going to use it right now, but just so you know what it is, the Peacock command you run it from the command palette, which is under View, Command Palette, and select your preferred color. And it makes it visually easier to identify when you're hosting a live share session by automatically theming the VS Code workbench using the selected color. So whenever you're hosting something, a live work share, then you can just, it's another visual indicator. Hey, this is the one you're hosting. Okay, so this way this works is when you send the VS live share link to another developer, they can join your session. And again, just probably it's very similar to other things that we played with in the in the cloud. You get a link. Okay, good. So you get a link and you collaborate. Let's see, and there's also the audio call feature. Okay, and there's other extensions, recommended extensions that we're not going to dive into right now. But if that's something you want to look into, I thought about doing the live share whiteboard, but that's not going to be a focal point right now. Okay, so everybody has live share installed. So I want to go ahead and close out this tab, and let's actually start opening up live share. So live share, we're going to open that up, and if you see the side panel come up, so we can join a collaborative session. I'm assuming, yeah, I would need a link. Go ahead and hit escape to get rid of that. We're going to start a collaborative session. Okay. So say I'm working on something and I wanted to share it with another developer, or if I want to share it with you, then all I need to do is click on that share session, whatever, start a session, whatever that word was, I don't remember now. And then what you'll see it pop up, you'll see that says the invitation link has been copied to a clipboard. So you can send it to anyone you trust. So if I was going to, so if I have a link that's already copied to my clipboard, and I can just paste it anywhere, copy however I want to share it. Hold on, it's having me sign into my GitHub. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I'm sorry. So just go ahead and sign in to your GitHub or Microsoft account. So I'll wait for everybody to catch up. I forgot about that step. My apologies on that. So let me know when everybody's got finished signing in through their GitHub or Microsoft account. Okay. Okay. Ryan, I'm recording this, and I know we're going to have a meeting later on this afternoon, and we'll talk about it. We'll go through step by step. I don't think your internet. I think yours is one of the internet where it doesn't work very well, right? Well, while everybody's getting, I need to see exactly where you're at, Ryan. So did you sometimes I have my 1-year-old one? Kids are fun. Okay, at what point did you do the extensions and do the live share install? Yes, okay. So do you have them all installed? Does it say, not that, but does it say something like this? You see live share extension pack and it should say installed? Yes. Yes, okay, good. So do you see this little thing on the left-hand side that says live share? It doesn't, well, it says live share if you hover over it. It's a block with like a little arrow thing. Okay, you got that? Okay. So when you click live share, what we were doing was, hold on. Let me stop this. Okay. So do you see the screen when you open up that live share sidebar? It says join collaborative session, start collaborative session, and start read-only collaboration session. Okay. So what we were doing right now is start collaboration session. And Jazz had pointed out that I forgot about that it might take you to another screen to log in through your Microsoft or GitHub account. Sorry, somebody was trying to call me. If you don't have a GitHub account yet, go ahead and log in through your Microsoft account. We'll work on getting your GitHub account created later on this afternoon. Is that about where you're at right now? Okay, good. Were you able to log in through Microsoft? Okay. So that's because I stopped the session, Solomon. So let's go ahead and try this again. So, okay, so this is how, if I was going to collaborate with you, we're working on a project together, I would do start collaboration session and give it a minute, and it would create the link, and it's automatically copied. And so I'm going to go into here in Discord and paste it again. It's a different link. So go ahead and try that now. Go ahead and try to click on that link and try to join my collaborative session. And let's see how this is going to work. Okay, so I see somebody, Solomon. Okay. So that worked. Did you just have to click on it and it took you into VS Code, or did you have to copy and paste it? Okay, so you just have to take that link and then somewhere I'm going to stop this collaboration thing again because I'm not sure how to see both things at once. I'm going to stop this collaboration. Okay, somebody else has joined. Ryan, okay, Ryan, you joined. So you guys evidently are seeing somewhere to paste it, right? So you just clicked on it. So you can either just click on it and it'll take you right into the session, or you can somewhere copy and paste it. So you guys are seeing it. Connor, on the Discord channel, I copied and pasted a link in there. So some people are having success just clicking on it and it'll take them into it, and some are having to copy and paste it. Okay, so when you click on join session and then paste the link. Okay, thank you, Solomon. Okay, so I want to see if Connor can find it. Okay, good. So everybody's on a collaborative. We're collaborating together. This is the chat that you guys can see. But let's see if I go ahead and open up a new file. I'm going to name it Let me get into where I want to be. Okay. So does everybody see the collaborative thing that we're doing here? It's very similar to what you've probably worked with in Google Docs and other various things. So on line 9, let's go to, yes. So line 9, I'm going to assign some people to write some content. Line 9, I want Solomon to write something on line 9, write a paragraph saying this is a paragraph. On Ryan, on line 11, I want you to write on 11, I want you to write just the same thing that Solomon's writing. The paragraph, this is a paragraph. Jazz, same thing. Just do it on line 12. And Connor, same thing on line 13. Okay. So what's like nice about this is like I can take out this closing P tag that automatically generated with Ryan. And then there's a way that you can preview it in the server to see the preview of it. I'm not wholly familiar with it, so I'm not going to venture into that right now. But you guys can see the collaborative nature of this, right? So whenever we're going to be working on projects and we're going to be practicing pair programming, I'll talk more about that assignment later on, but we're going to be doing some pair programming because this is going to be helpful for you in that collaborative nature to develop that soft skills and communication and things like that. Okay. Does anybody have any questions on live share? Just using the tool. Did you have any questions on this? Okay. Do you guys see how this could be handy as opposed to using something like GitHub where you have to wait for the push pull and all that stuff? Okay, good. And then if you're stuck on something, you wasn't able to get in, where did you get stuck at? Rest in peace. Okay. So signing in with the link that I shared, is that where you got stuck at, Jeff? Okay, so you had trouble signing in with GitHub? Okay. What was it doing? Was it just you just didn't remember the password or something else? Okay. What did it do then? Just spinning. Oh, that's you have decent internet. You live in Columbus, don't you? Okay. I don't know. I had some problems logging into some things this morning. It just kind of did that. It kept timing out. I am recording this, and then we can meet later on. You know, if you have troubles with the recording. Okay. Okay. Um, did it eventually get in at all, or is it just it took too long? Yeah. We'll talk later, Jeff. I just want to make sure that this is going to be a tool that we're going to be using, and if it was just a delay, or we'll talk later. And like I said, this is being recorded. Okay. Do you guys have any questions on it? What extensions can do, or what they are within VS Code? Does everybody have a pretty good idea of what extensions are as a tool? And live share is just an example of an extension. Okay. So there is a video, YouTube video I want us to watch. It's not made by me, but talks about pair programming. So I'll assign that. You guys don't need to sit here. It's about a 10-minute video. And you guys don't need to sit here and you watch the video. So I'll share that link with the assignments. But let's go ahead and start talking about assignments. Okay. Are we at a good place where we can transition to talking about assignments with everybody? Okay, good. So I shared this link earlier with Google Docs. It's in Discord. And I haven't put this in Blackboard yet. Okay, I'm still trying to. I've talked about before in previous classes. Try to distinguish between content and platform, and I need to get the content of what I want on paper before I put it on the platform of Blackboard. So it's not been Blackboard yet, but these are the assignments that we're going to be working on. Okay. Any questions on that? So if you look in Blackboard, it's not there because I haven't put it there. Okay. So the assignments for the week, work on finishing last week's assignments. We talked about earlier, I know it was a lot, and that was me, I think, trying to over-plan, over-prep, and think of everything that I could think of to do. And I decided to do that in 1 week. So that was bad on my part. My apologies for that. But so just work on the assignments that you didn't finish last week. Our deadlines are going to be pretty lenient. As long as I see you're doing the work and communicating with me, there's not going to be any problems. It's not going to have a negative impact on your grade. Okay? Any questions on that? Line item 1 here. Okay. Can you guys see my screen? Okay? Okay, good. So the next thing I want us to do is to build a web page using Bootstrap and other tools. Now, I did make videos for this, and I'll share that with videos. You guys can watch it at your own leisure on that. Leisure, loosely intended. But I made videos. I haven't shared them yet, but there are videos for that. Especially since everybody's on kind of internet bandwidth. And, there might be a lag for some, so I thought it might be easier just to do videos. Everybody okay just to do videos, and then we'll do one-on-one sessions for anybody who needs it? Okay, good. The other thing that we're going to be doing in this, okay, good, I'm glad. So we're going to be exploring Canvas and SVG elements to a web page. This is going to be more of a focal point for Thursday's class. We are having class on Thursday. But that's not something we've touched base today, but it's going to be something that we're going to touch base on this week. Okay. And another thing that we'll talk about more on Thursday is you're going to be creating an infographic explaining something you learned. An infographic, it can be, I'm going to show you some examples of an infographic. Spunny, go lie down. Spunny, go. I'm telling my dog to lie down. So I'm going to open up Canva. Has anybody used Canva before? All the time. Okay, good. So there's a free version of Canva and there's a paid version of Canva. I do. Good. Okay. It's a design tool. It's a way you can create some graphics. It's pretty nifty. I have the paid version. I think the paid version is like $10 a month. So, but you can do a lot of stuff with the free version. Okay. So I want everybody to go to Canva if you can. And I want to go ahead and click Create Design. And somewhere you should see in the drop down search infographic. So these are infographics. You can choose whatever one you want. I'm going to select this one just so I can have something to work with. But you can edit it by clicking on it. You can change the colors. You can change the fonts. I want you to create an infographic. And I want it to be based off something that you've learned this past week. It could be something like Figma, what wireframing is, whatever. I don't care what it is, but something that you've learned is either this week, because this is going to be a later on assignment, or last week. So I just want you to start thinking about that. That is going to be the assignment for that we'll talk more about on Thursday. Okay. I want you to attend a virtual meetup or a live webinar of your choosing. The reason for this is because it's going to help with the networking. Networking is such a vital part of this particular field. And, meeting with people. If we were doing this and it wasn't the pandemic thing going on, then we would be going to meetups in Columbus, most likely, because that's where most of them are. And that's a way you're going to network with people and meet with people. I have a second-year student. She was the only one that kind of took my advice on this stuff from the beginning. And she went to meetups with me. She went to events with me. She started going with on her own whenever I didn't go. And she has, built over the past couple of years, she has built a really good relationship with some people in the industry. And, that includes recruiters. So networking is such a vital part of this industry and this field. You get to learn from other people that you're meeting. And once you graduate, these are people that could potentially help you, connect for a job. So, and you learn those soft skills of how to, talk with other people, how to collaborate with other people. We are pretty much usually an introverted group, in this particular field as developers, but you still have to, get out and talk with people. That's still part of it. It may be an uncomfortable part of it, but the advantage of, doing it early on, the first semester or two here, you'll figure out how to do it. You'll get over the uncomfortable situation that, you'll get over the uncomfortable feeling that you're in. You'll just be better at it. And it takes practice just like anything else, knowing what to do, who to talk to, and build that relationship. You want to build a solid relationship with these people. So since we can't do that in person, they are having more virtual meetups. So like for me, going to Columbus is like a 3-hour drive one way. So sometimes that was a barrier. I was like, that looks like an interesting thing, but I don't want to get home at midnight. So now I can just, attend virtually if I see anything that looks interesting. And I want you guys to do the same. On those 2 meetups that I went to last week, they were virtual. That, it was just nice just to, talk with people again, like in a specific field, or ask questions or something on that nature. It was just nice. So I want you guys to do that. I want you to have either attend a virtual meetup, or you can attend a live webinar of your choosing. I don't care what the topic is. Either one, if you are interested in photography, it could be a photography meetup or a live webinar. I don't care. I just want you, to get out for what we can virtually and learn something. Okay. Then I want you to list 3 takeaways from it. So this is not going to be in the format of a discussion, which is where things kind of threw me off last week. Discussions I can't grade, but just don't worry about that. So it's not going to take the format of a discussion where you have to comment on other people's. It's just, I want you to list 3 takeaways from it. Okay. I want you to listen to a podcast. We're going to have weekly podcast requirements for you to listen to. Do you guys, by chatting or audio, who listens to podcasts now? Okay. Good. Yeah. I usually listen to podcasts in the car driving. That's not an option. That's right now. But sometimes I'll just listen to podcasts while I'm doing chores, like cleaning house. Because sometimes I feel like I have, conflicted. I need to clean my house, but I also want to learn some more. So it's kind of like I can do both at the same time. I can do the dishes. Yeah. I can do the dishes while I'm listening to a podcast. So, and just find a time to listen to the podcast. This one that we're going to listen to, that this is the assignment, is from my cat's having a fit. It's from a podcast series or show, whatever you want to call it, called HTML All Things. It's one of my favorite podcasters out there. There are 2 guys that talk amongst each other, and they're developers, and they give all kinds of insights and tips and tricks and whatever it is, as developers in the field. And this particular one I want us to listen to is What Makes Web Development Hard. And I just want you just to listen to it. And again, I want you to have 3 takeaways from it. This is not a discussion because it's not a discussion format. Just list 3 takeaways. And then there's going to be a quiz. The quizzes last week, I noticed when I did the fill in the blanks, if I did not put a space on something and you guys put a space in on something, it counted it wrong. So I've been going through and just, anything that I saw that was red saying that it was counted wrong, I've been trying to do a visual of, inspection and make sure it was or was not wrong. So I'm probably not going to do the fill in the blank questions anymore. I might do essay questions, but not necessarily fill in the blank. So there's going to be a quiz. I allow unlimited tries on the quizzes. In my personal opinion on education, and some people may argue with me on this, but oh well. Education and learning in this particular field is an iterative nature. So if you see what you do wrong, you read it, you research it, you figure it out, and then you try again. I don't think education should be a memorization game. I think it should be a live being that we nurture and that we don't penalize for being wrong without giving somebody the opportunity to learn what they did wrong and go and fix it. Does anybody have any questions on that? That's my personal philosophy on teaching and education. Does anybody have any questions on that? Okay. And this is a field that, it's not medical field. It's not practicing law. If you make a mistake, Alt Z that sucker, Control Z with, I don't know, undo, whatever the undo is, and undo it and redo it until you get it right, all right? There's very low stakes here. There's no reason we can't undo and try again. So, and I don't know, we didn't really talk about tilt last week because of everything that was happening. But what tilt is it's a transformation in learning and teaching is what it stands for. And it's a framework to try to just be more transparent in what I'm teaching, why I'm teaching, whatever I'm teaching, and the assignments that I'm assigning. And it's just a different way to try to approach teaching and be more transparent. So the objectives, so this is kind of where this stuff comes in. So the objectives for week 2's assignment are, the objectives are on the right-hand side, is to build a web page. I want you to practice the objective of this okay, start up. Let me back up a little bit. The assignment. The assignment is to build a web page using Bootstrap and other tools. That's one of your assignments, right? Why I want you to do that, just so you know, being transparent, is I want you to learn the practice of building a web page from a designer who created a wireframe. So, as you may have figured out from the Figma exercises, there's developers and there's designers. Sometimes they're all in one, and sometimes they're separate. Okay? So, developers are developing and coding it. Designers are designing it, making it pretty, making the user experience and the interface something that's going to meet the needs, right? So if a designer, you were playing both roles in this particular situation. Last week you designed it. You designed the web page using Figma, and this week you're going to code the web page based off the design. Okay. So I want you to practice it. Somebody's giving you a visual of what they want. Now you're going to code from that. And we're also going to be using Bootstrap a little bit. Bootstrap is a popular tool. Some like it, some love it, some hate it. For me, it depends on the day. Pulling code from Figma. Yes, you can actually pull the code from Figma. Did you see that, Jeff? We'll talk about that here. I do have videos on that. Okay, yeah. So that's a nice thing about Figma as well. It does, like if you did border or box shadowing or whatever, some of the aesthetics of it, the styling of it, you can just copy and paste that sucker into your CSS and voila, that's done. So there's videos on this I've already made, and I'll share. It talks about that as well. So that's a nice tool. There's a nice thing about Figma. Instead of having to, go on to another resource like how do I do the shadowing? How do I do this? How do I do that? You just copy and paste that code from Figma into CSS, and it's done. Bootstrap is another tool that, like I said, some people love it, some people like it, some people hate it. For me, it depends on the day and what I'm trying to do and my frustration level. Some people call Bootstrap boot crap. So there's a love-hate relationship with the Bootstrap thing. So that's why I'm having you build a web page using Bootstrap and other tools. Just get used to using Bootstrap and looking at documentation, figuring out how to do that. Again, there's videos on this. And just again, going from the designer to the developer to build a web page. So the other thing that we're going to do, this is more going to be the latter part of the week, is we're going to add some Canvas and SVG to the web page. And the objective is just for us to, learn about Canvas and SVG and get used to practicing with them. I very rarely use this just because it's cumbersome and I'm just not a designer and it's not important enough for me. I have some students who are more into design and they use it all the time. They think that this is like the best thing ever. And I'm like, whatever, because it's not for me. But we're going to learn how to use it. And maybe for you, it'll be the best thing ever. And maybe for you, it's like, it's a pain in the butt and I hate it, but at least you know how to use it, or at least know how to find where to use it. So the other thing we're going to do, the other assignment, is create an infographic explaining something you learned. And the reason for that is to develop your brand. That's not what I want us to do. Develop your brand. I want you to think of yourself as a freelancer, and part of that is to developing your brand and your persona and your styling, your characteristics. Have you guys ever heard of Barbara Corcoran? Does anybody watch Shark Tank? Any Shark Tank watchers? No. It counts. Okay. Okay, you guys, depending on which episode you watched, have you guys ever heard of Barbara Corcoran? She's one of the sharks on Shark Tank. Okay. So she's a real estate person that has a lot of money and, went from a waitress to being what she is now, right? And I can't remember where I heard this. It may have been on a podcast, which is one reason to listen to podcasts, or it could be on something that I read. I don't remember where I heard it. But she produces something called the Kokorin Report, which it does something with real estate. That I wrote about real estate. But because of her producing and creating the Kokorin Report, she's becoming more. Her name has become more synonymous with the real estate brand. Excuse me. It's become more synonymous with real estate. You know, people look to her as a reference point, as a place of knowledge, or whatever it is that you want to talk about, however you want to say it. And and you know, as developers or as learning developers, or you know, just getting into the field, you're going to find people that you know you see as somebody you want to go to as a resource of information. For me, one of them is Wes Boss. He's one of the podcasters on the Syntax, which you know is another podcast I listen to. And what he's done is just produce content, whether it be YouTube, podcasting, infographics, articles, whatever. Produce content that I learned from. And the reason that the Kokorin Report ties in with the developers and you building your brand is because I want you to get in the practice of building your brand. Kokorin Report is from Barbara Kokorin because she wanted a place to, you know, she wanted to produce something for the industry that would make them look to her as somebody who is a professional and is knowledgeable about the industry. So I know we're still very early on, but I want you to get in the habit of doing that, producing some sort of content. So throughout the semester, we're going to be doing infographics, podcasts, YouTube videos, other things that I can't remember right now. And I want you to develop your own style and brand. Like Wes Boss, he's got a particular kind of logo and a particular shade of yellow. That's what I want you to do. So I want you to create an infographic, and that's why we're doing that. So then there's a quiz to test the knowledge. So these are the rubrics on what your grading is going to be. So for excellent work, you complete the web page based on your wireframe. If you want to update your wireframe, if you want to change it, you're doing some tweaks on it, and you decide you want to try something else, that's fine. But I just want to see like there's similarities. You start it with the wireframe, and then you put it into a web page. And I want to see Bootstrap in your code. Adequate work is completion of the web page using, you know, based off your wireframe, but you didn't use Bootstrap. To fail this assignment, you just don't do it. For adding Canvas, and we'll talk about this later since this is going to, we'll talk about this more on Thursday as well, but I just wanted to kind of give you an idea of what we're doing. For the adding Canvas and SVG elements. Okay. Thank you, Jeff. Vengage for infographics. Does it create infographics like the Canva thing, or is it something else? So if you guys don't know, Jeff was a designer previously. So he's like, you know, what does he think? So if Jeff says something for designing stuff like infographics, listen to Jeff. So for the Canvas and SVG stuff, and there's tools out there that can help with SVG and Canvas. We'll talk about more on that on Thursday, or videos, one of the two. So here, so you can see the rubrics on excellent work, adequate work, and inadequate work. I'm not going to read those to you. And the same thing with, looks like I copied and pasted it, but did not finish it. So I need to finish this, and we'll talk about it more on Thursday, it looks like. So it's called a work in progress. Okay. So those are the assignments for week 2. They're not in Blackboard yet. I'll put them in Blackboard. You guys have any questions on that? Okay. Now, going back to live webinars, and I was going to mention this last week, but with bad audio and everything else that was going wrong last week, I just kind of forgot about it until someone asked me for some help on, on HTML and CSS, and I gave her this link as a place to kind of get some additional information. So this is CS50. If you were in my class last semester, remember that there was like an hour, lunch hour, I guess, between one class and the next one starting. And I usually play like videos from CS50, Harvard University's computer science program. I think they're entertaining. But so this is a great resource. What they do, what CS50 does, and they do new courses every year, and this is the one for 2020. And now it used to be on edX, but edX has completely changed their platform since whenever I first started using it, and I don't like it anymore. But now this is just hosted on Harvard's website, harvard.edu. So if you're looking to develop a better understanding on HTML and CSS and so many other things, I advise you to check this out, this link. I already pasted it in Discord. And there's a breakdown of HTML. I think it's about a half an hour. And then there's CSS. And then there's JavaScript I saw for the, which is our other class. But this is they're really good about explaining the material. And these are Harvard people. This David Mullane, the head instructor, he's got like teaching assistants and teaching fellows. He's got more time than I do. He's got more resources than I do. He's smarter than I am. So utilize resources like this. So if I'm not explaining something well enough, or if you need somebody else to explain something and maybe it'll kind of click in a different way, utilize this resource. Okay. Let's see. Do you have any questions on that? Okay. Now, the way that's going to tie into a live webinar thing that I was mentioning earlier, I'm going to go into my LinkedIn, and he's got a LinkedIn account. Okay. 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 Who's active on LinkedIn? Okay. Well, LinkedIn is a platform where you can be more active on. Okay, but what I was going to go into was, I can't remember where I saw it. There's a live webinar happening with CS50. And I pasted on something else in Discord. Let me just find it on that. It's not exactly what I want it to do. Okay. Shoot, wrong channel. Okay, so do you guys see the link I just posted on not on Discord? It takes you to LinkedIn, but it's on Discord. Okay, so this could be a live webinar that you can attend if you want to choose this one. So I'll want for this meetup requirement and live webinar requirement, I'll be sharing them on Discord, any that you might be interested in. This is one of them. So this is from 1 p.m., 1 to 2 p.m., which is Eastern time, which conflicts with our JavaScript class. We'll talk about that in JavaScript if you're in JavaScript. So if you like the CS50 courses, if you want to start diving in to just develop better understanding on anything, if this could be a live webinar that you want to choose. Okay. I'm not saying you have to do this, but if you have an interest in it, this is something that you could choose to be your live webinar meetup requirement for the week. Any questions on that? Okay. During class time, if you, we'll talk about that in JavaScript. Because it's the conflicts with the JavaScript class, right? Yeah, okay. We'll talk about that in JavaScript in about an hour or so. Okay. So this, you have any questions on the assignments? Okay. The other thing that I forgot to put in here, I'm going to go ahead and put in here. We talk about pair programming, right? For building the web page using Bootstrap, I want you to pair with somebody. I don't care who you pair with, but I want you just to practice the pair programming. And so after you watch the video on pair programming, find somebody to partner with and figure out how you're wanting to pair. Obviously, it's going to be virtual, but do you want, just think about it, because you're going to have a navigator and a driver, or you guys can be working on different sections because you're both going to be on own computers. I don't know, Jazz. I don't mind that as long as you're able to do it in live share. Yeah, you can. Yeah, because we just did that. No, yeah, that's fine. You can get up to 4 people. But then I want everybody to contribute. And I want you to comment who did what. Like if you wanted to divvy it up in sections, somebody works on one part, somebody works on another part, all that stuff. I just want you to comment what you're doing and what your contribution is to it. Does that make sense? Okay. So I'm updating this while we were talking. Build a web page. Collaborate with at least one other person to practice pair programming techniques. And one of the things that that's going to do is help with your soft skills. So allocation and, assigning things to certain people, who's responsible for what, having that conversation if something's not working correctly, the workflow, the process, the progress, all of that are going to be some soft skills that you're going to be learning as we do this pair programming. On individual contributions. Okay. So you guys see that okay? You guys have any questions on that? Okay, good. So give me some feedback. I think this was better than last week. But give me some feedback on what worked well for this and what did not work well for this, for how we had class today this morning. You can go ahead and do something on chat now, or if you want to message me later on after you've had some time to think about it or whatever. Okay. So, let's see. Okay. So that's class. We're going to go ahead and call it short by like 10, 15 minutes, but it's longer than the 5 minutes we had last week. So let me know if you have any questions. We're going to do Google Hangouts. Blackboard seems to be troublesome. So I will do the same thing for into the videos or the assignments. I want to put the assignments in Blackboard. I haven't done them yet. About the collab Discord. Yeah, you can talk about whatever on a Discord. Yeah. I was going to try and do streaming on Discord, live share on Discord, because I was told that I could do that, but tried to do that last night and it just doesn't want to work well either. And Google Hangouts seems to be doing the best of all of that. But okay, I'm going to upload the assignments. I'm going to put the assignments in Blackboard. I haven't done it yet. You can use HTML, CSS to talk about collaboration. That's fine. That's what I want it to be, like an open forum for a conversation. And we're going to meet here in Google Hangouts because this seems to be the platform that works the best. And I'll send out the link like I did before. Any other questions? Okay, good. Okay, so I'll see everybody, if you're in JavaScript 2, I'll see you guys around 1 o'clock. And again, we're going to use Google Hangouts. Okay. Okay. See you guys.